EIT Test Farms program has been designed to link startups who are looking to validate the functionality and the need for their agricultural solutions on farms in Southern and Eastern Europe. My name is Adriana Bałazy. I'm a business development manager at EIT Food.
One of the most critical challenges in agriculture is the weed control. We define that the solution for the 21st century has to be sustainable, easy to operate, saving time and resources of the farmer. In order to meet those requirements, we have developed Newman, a robotic intra-row non-chemical weeding machine powered by artificial intelligence. Hi, I'm Martin Ullmann, CEO and co-founder of Ullmanna.
Jmenuji se Jindřich Ullmann, jsem agronom a spolumajitel firmy Ullmanna.
Participants in the program are matched with farms that meet the conditions they need to test their products in terms of crops, soil, weather, and potential market they want to enter. After the matchmaking process, the startup visit the farms, meet the farmers, and discuss the details and the scheduling of the tests.
Our ambition is to develop the most efficient and the fastest intra-row weeding machine in the world. We are looking for the farmers' feedback on our current prototype and collecting the data for additional improvements. We need to test in real conditions and only farmers can help us with that.
Takie programy są potrzebne, aby rolnictwo było zrównoważone, a żywność wyprodukowana przez rolnika była bezpieczniejsza dla konsumenta. Nazywam się Henryk Jeremiasz, prowadzę gospodarstwo w Saborowicach, na którym uprawiamy buraki cukrowe.
We support farmers by saving their time and resources. Our 6-row machine is as efficient as 60 people. Thanks to increased performance, organic farmers can easily scale their production without additional cost for manual weeding. In conventional farming, we save up to 80% of herbicides during the season. In the case of sugar beet, it is almost €350 per hectare. Our goal is to support farmers in transition from conventional to organic farming. Thanks to test farms, we can test the solution with the farmers and get access to the potential customers.
Once the startup obtains the results of the testing, EIT Food supports the organization of the demo day on the farm, where the startups can explain the product to potential investors and customers. Participants in the program also benefit from access to EIT Food's ample network of agricultural companies, experts, and farmers. They also receive a €3,000 grant to offset their travel costs and the testing. Farmers gain unique opportunity to test newest innovations on the field, improve their everyday work, and contribute to making European food system more trusted and sustainable.
Hello, welcome everybody. My name is Karol. I'm from Poland. I am a journalist and a fruit producer from Poland. Welcome to our Test Farms Demo Day 2022. I want to start from a definition. So what is the definition of startup? The startup refers to a company in the first stages of their operations. Startups are founded generally by one or a few entrepreneurs which want to develop a product or a solution, a service for which they believe there is demand on the market. So let's take a short look about today's agenda. After a couple of minutes, we will see the presentation of about introduction to our test day. And after that presentation, we will see the presentations from 10 startups from 4 countries. Each startup has only 5 minutes to explain to investors and other participants to explain its solutions. And after each presentation, we got 5 minutes for question and answers session. I want to remind you about the time. I will keep an eye of it. So when you will be 30 seconds left to your 5 minutes time, I will remind it. And then please make a short summary and get ready for questions. I also want to encourage you to discuss, to asking a lot of questions on the chat on the right side of the screen. I also want to remind you that our webinar is recorded and the file will be sent to participants. One more time, you are free to discuss on chat. Please ask many questions. The first, please connect Mr. Paweł and Mr. Mirosław and tell us something more about test farms.
Hi everyone, thank you Karol for nice introductions. I'm more than happy to see such a lot of actually names and surnames, because the platform doesn't allow us to see all the faces, because for now we have more than 60 person in the room, and there are still more and more. For now, with me there is Mirosław Korzeniowski, my workmate, let's say, in the test fund program.
Good morning.
I guess I forgot to introduce myself. So my name is Biochar. I'm more than happy to welcome you in the name of EIT Food. I'm a project manager, and my daily task is inter alia to deal with test farms and our magnificent startups, which some of them will be presented today. During the at 10 you had a chance to look at Ulmana solution. It won't be present today as it is already pretty successful, and they were present last year. So I think this is just a bring what you will be see today. But before, I want to say something that I'm brag about more super. So on the registration list, we had participants from more than 15 countries, from Europe, from Israel, from US, from Canada. So that's a great that's a great number, and it's great when such a huge crowd of friends of innovation in agritech meets during our meetings. So now we will tell with you with Mirek a few words what is actually test farm, how it works, and what are the outcomes, so why we are meeting today. So the first idea why we decided to set up a program called test farms. So we saw a problem in Central and Eastern Europe and in the south of Europe that startups tend to have problem where to validate their solution. So this is the key moment when you have a prototype and you want to test it. So to check whether really farmer is interested and would like to buy it, or you have to pivot it in some way. So the most primary indication is to enable startups to test and validate their products and showcase them to potential clients and investors. So inter alia, today we have the chance to you have a chance actually to look at our solutions, and then we want to also raise awareness on innovations across farmers who play also a key role in this system. We are inviting startups who have innovative agritech solutions on different areas of innovation. So sustainability, digital traceability, circular assistance, or targeted nutrition. So that is the scope and how the program looks like. So validation, this is what I already mentioned, and visibility is inter alia the demo days, and we are trying to match them with partners if they wish, and they know who are they looking for. When it comes to network, Mirek is an expert in this field on behalf of us, and he has a great network. So Mirek, if you could say a few words with the examples, what kind of network and who did you matchmake with generally?
Okay. Thank you, Paweł. First of all, thanks for the invitation, and we are proud, and since 2 years, AgroEcoton as an association can support you, Paweł, your team, farmers, and startups in this fantastic project. For me, test farms, it's a great idea, but it's not just idea. It's excellent way how we can implement to real practice, real innovations, which comes from in most of cases from Central Europe, and we can check it in our reality, in our weather and soil conditions. It's great. And when we talk about network, we say, of course, farmers who collaborate with us, but for us, network is also companies who are surrounding farmers, and also people from institutes, from universities who are often support us in this process. That network is not just group of startups and farmers. Network is much broader group. And finally, all of us as consumers of food.
Yeah, and last but not least, of course, the founding. We call it smart money, as it is 3K euro, so it covers the cost of startup. We know how startups tend to suffer with money, so we're trying to at least support them with paying for testing and travel expenses, and later on we are trying to push them to commercialize their solutions. So how it looks like in a time frame. So I will give you an example of this year. So we had application open from March to April. Later on, matchmaking, which is pretty time-consuming process, last 2 months during the summer. Testing, we give all 4 seasons that we have in Central Eastern Europe to test the solutions, and the last episode is the demo day in the test farm program. So now we have this test farm, this demo day, and actually we have today with us startups that ended their program last year, but some of them were that good that we decided even to push them today to showcase to you their solutions. So our figures. So we are already we have done, or we are we are doing the 4th edition of test farms. We have 65 startups from over 15 countries tested, and we had the test beds in Spain, Poland, Portugal, Bulgaria, but also this year in Italy. And when it comes to what kind of solutions, Mirek will be the best to, as an agronomist, to describe what is the most common and during the testing. Who is?
Sorry. I'm sorry, Paweł. There is a question.
Yeah, sure.
From Mr. David. Whatever do we have in EU Rural Technology Parks network? Maybe someone of you know where these startups working on their ideas. I think that rural technology parks are and collaboration with clusters and farmers group in a good way. What do you think about it? EIT Food can make some places for startups in the villages?
Well, can we highlight the question on a full screen, because I can hardly read the question. Yeah. Do we have for now, as far as I know, we don't have the rural park network parks. Maybe someone. What is? Well, we have, for example, the countries sort of innovation parks. It is too big word, but this year I don't know how how to describe it, but for sure in the local on local ground there are some parks, but maybe it is a good idea to run it. But for sure, for now we have to increase the number of startups. Year by year the number of applications are increasing, which are super good for us. But maybe that's an idea for the next year. What do you think, Mirek? Do you want to add something?
Yeah, it's not question about number of project. It's also a question about quality and real market and farmers' needs. What do we really need? And we need to also to connect the best ideas with real market needs. And also it's partly answer to your question, how do we see a range of startups, what we have already or we had up to now in our project. Then for me, prioritization should be done by real topics. What kind of bottlenecks would we open? What problems what kind of problems we could solve? Then answer for me, it's also in a range of projects which are already done or in process in test farms. And for me, this split what we have between products and services, then services are often linked with IT, with digitalization, and products are often with biologization and soil regeneration. It's the best way for me. Then we will see how it will work in further steps. Startups, it's just beginning of this long journey.
Okay, Mirek, if you could supplement what kind of solutions we had in our pipeline.
Yeah, as I mentioned, for me, it's a split, first of all, between two major groups. First is the digitalization in general, then all elements linked with drones, robotization, and artificial intelligence. And it's great because it's a real change of mindset also for farmers in many cases. And we see, especially in big farms, that there is a demand for this kind of technologies. And second, in my opinion, very important group is everything what contains bio in name. It's not just three simple letters. It's something what can, in line with European Green Deal and market needs, we can change quality of life and quality of production in our farms. And what's important to mention here, then in test farms, since 2 years, we can check it also in Central European weather and soil conditions. Then we cannot transfer, when we talk about digitalization, it's easy to transfer from one region in Europe to another. When we talk about biological solutions, we need to check it, how it works in local climatic conditions. And this group of startups, in my opinion, it's very interesting. And it's also important to mention that all bioproducts are relatively easy to implement to practice. That from business perspective, this way, from idea to commercial sales and collaboration with farmers, it's in many cases much quicker compared to digitalization processes.
Yeah, to give you a spoiler, today we will have also bioproducts, but also robots and machines based on machine learning and AI. And the program couldn't be executed without our excellent partners in Poland, AgroCoton with the head in the name of Mirek, who is present, and Tepro Urcasil in Spain, and Future Food Institute in Italy. So we have a few really good success stories. I don't want to familiarize you with them now, but the presentation will be sent out to you. We are also providing some promotional materials for the startups, and in a few days we will see the Microbe Plus publishment, some testimonies. So it is really key to validate, to check the solution on a real conditions. And we are happy that we could, as EIT Food, collaborate and give a chance to startups to do it. So a test farm is basically created for countries from Baltics, Central Eastern Europe and Balkans, and the south of Europe. So usually the cost is they don't have to pay for it, for the service of testing, but we have also non-risk countries, we call them. So when startups approach us and want to test it, something, for example, in Poland, they have to pay a remuneration for us. So what happens in 2023? So we will have 20 startups. We want to increase the grants to startups to 4K euro. We will also introduce paid test beds, and as we want to incentivize farmers, so we will have a chance to select the best one for the startups with like the commercial phase, and that it will be a really great match. And primary food processing, it will be a pilot for us, but we also want to do this area of agriculture and expansion to Balkans. We want to be more visible over there. Our contact details, of course, I will mail my email on a chat soon, and please feel free if you have any questions regarding the test farms, unless or you want to apply. So that's it from my end, and I'm more than happy now to start with the heroes of today event. I'm asking Carol to join now, and now it's time for Thomas Kana.
Yes, Thomas, the first startup from Czech Republic. Please turn on your camera. Please get ready. I want to remind you about the time. Please keep an eye on it. I will also do it. So the floor is yours, please.
Thank you. Hello and welcome. My name is Thomas Kana, co-owner of Biotech Limited. A majority of the farmland is being worked on in a way that slowly degrades it. Farmers depend on artificial fertilizers, sprays, they plow and leave the ground uncovered. That gradually removes the fertility and life from the soil. Carbon farming, together with MicroCHAR, is a possible remedy. One of the instruments which greatly improves the soil's quality is the Biochar, stable form of carbon produced from biomass. Biochar is a traditional soil conditioner that is still being used, especially in developing countries. Lately, it began to see more use overall, mostly in America. Our team focuses on Biochar for almost 10 years. The last 2 years were dedicated to development of MicroCHAR. There are plenty of effects that this composite soil conditioner brings, but a major one is the renewal of soil's life and consequently its natural fertility. It is hard to decide who or what is the competition for MicroCHAR. Definitely the raw biochar, which is the material for its production. So compared to that, MicroCHAR contains functional elements. Other than that, for example, biostimulants and in some form, the regenerative agriculture could be considered. But a definitive competitor is hard to point out because our aim is not to sell MicroCHAR as a product, but to teach farmers how to produce it by themselves. Farmers with biogas station have the best conditions. Each year they have undecomposed biomass in their digestate to produce biochar. They have renewable electricity and heat. On a farmhouse, you can also find organic waste from production and manure. All of those are local and circular. Production of MicroCHAR itself is not only smart and circular, but also financially interesting. On the example of production with capacity 1,000 tons per year, we demonstrate production costs and revenues, which streams from carbon storaging. Because biochar is also a mean to remove carbon dioxide, and that makes money. MicroCHAR is an ideal example of carbon management according to the principles of carbon farming. On top of that, the offer of cork certificates on Pure Stock Exchange generates an extra income for farmers. Specifically, 1 kilo of MicroCHAR removes 2.1 kilo of carbon dioxide, and the current price of cork certificate on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange is 124 euro. So 1 ton of MicroCHAR can obtain up to 248 euro in financial contribution. MicroCHAR successfully passed the patent phase on Czech and global patent office. We are currently waiting for issuance of patent. Our aim is to distribute MicroCHAR solution as licenses directly to farms. Technology delivery, know-how, and support is part of the licenses, as well as certification for admission to the Carbon Certificate Stock Exchange. Those can be offered in advance as an investment tool. Development potential is represented mainly by the new European agriculture policy. The essentials are the 18 million hectares that will be transitioning into sustainable farming regime, and there are around 14,000 biogas stations in Europe. And if you also consider the fact that the use of MicroCHAR emits the tradable carbon certificates, the estimate of 500 installations in Europe is within realistic expectations. Right now, MicroCHAR is in a phase of field verification. Apart from this project, MicroCHAR was used on several locations in Czech Republic. For example, this picture is from wheat sowing with MicroCHAR on a farm near Jihlava. We are preparing the implementation phase of a production facility in South Bohemia, and the analysis for our entry to Pure Stock Exchange is almost complete. So far, we were able to secure a subsidy from European funds for verification at Botanic Institute of the Academy of Science, and we are promised a subsidy for the construction of a pilot production facility.
30 seconds.
MicroCHAR is in need of an investor. We see this as a European project. Its basis is distribution of a solution and technology delivery. What we expect from a potential investor is an investment in the amount of 1 million euro, which would be used to build the pilot production facility. For the subsequent expansion, we estimate around 3 million. Our offer is 1/3 of our rights in form of shares in the new implementation company. MicroCHAR is a result of private research, and we are gradually joined by several research workplaces, and an entire team remains ready to continue production innovation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thomas, for a great timing. Do we have any question for this startup? No, so we can now move to the next startup, Enzybiotx, from my country, Poland. Can you please?
They said wait for the questions, if anyone got any. Yeah.
Yes, when you will be ready to sell the first?
Well, we are already selling some because we have a small production facility, like a garage type. We already sold around, I think, 1 or 2 tons of MicroCHAR. We are basically waiting for financing to build the first big production facility. But everything is ready.
Okay. The second question, do you have any references?
As I said, no. We are yet to build our first big production facility, but we do produce in a small amounts, which are being used in research mainly.
Any questions more? So if there is no questions more, I want to welcome Enzybiotx from Poland. Please turn on your camera and microphone. I also remind about the 5 minutes for your presentation. Please, Elżbieta.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ella. I'm from the Enzybiotx company, and in which we are working on a new non-antibiotic solutions for bacteria based on enzymes, bacteriolytic enzymes called Enzybiotics. They can be applied in many areas, including agriculture. And one of the huge issues for dairy products is bovine mastitis. It's an inflammation of in dairy cows, and is caused by pathogens, several pathogens, including fungi and algae, but most of all, Staphylococcus bacteria. Staphylococcus are very common pathogens observed in the mastitis. In the clinical form of a mastitis, the production of the milk decreases massively, and after treatment with antibiotics, even this decrease is even bigger because this milk has to be discarded. It causes a huge loss across the world, or over $32 billion annually. Because currently this mastitis is treated using antibiotics, it also increased the spreading of the resistance of antibiotic-resistant strains across the world. And the solutions which are not based on antibiotics are very needed in the agriculture. The overuse is huge, and the consumption of antibiotic is massive. So we offer the solution which is not based on the antibiotics, but on enzybiotix, which is derived from the bacteria, which you turn into a weapon against those pathogenic bacteria. We have developed our Resin Plus enzyme, which specifically attached to the bacterial cell walls, only to Staphylococci, digest those walls, causing a cell lysis and a cell death within minutes, and it can eliminate a bacteria in the various temperatures and various conditions. The invention was already filed as a patent application. This enzyme is very efficient and very safe for human and animals, and it's very specific because recognized only staphylococcal cells. It can eliminate millions of bacteria in minutes, and what is most important, also those which already develop antibiotic resistance, like MRSA in Staphylococcus aureus, and those which forms biofilms. Which is very important, we do not observe the development of a resistance to this enzyme. We can apply this enzyme, we think we can apply this enzyme in the bovine mastitis as a surface disinfectant or component of a hygiene product for the animals, to be able to prevent the spreading of the bacteria across the herd in cow sheds, but also as a component of agents for treatment of already developed mastitis animals. For example, as an ingredient of a teat sealant products. We have established a technology of the high-scale production of this enzyme and long-term storage. In the laboratory, we have tested various model surfaces like silicon, metal, or glass. We applied the enzyme. For 1 hour, we were able to eradicate Staphylococcus cells. And what is even more important for a bovine mastitis perspective is that the enzyme is as active in optimal condition as in raw milk and serum, including fetal bovine serum, which means that can be applied also in bovine mastitis conditions. Test funds grant we have received some time ago was actually the first time we were able to show the test the efficiency of the enzyme in field. First part of the test was done near Lublin in a farm where we were able to spray using the enzyme, spray this solution different various surfaces in the barn, and collect the samples after 1 hour and see the effect of the let's say disinfection. Unfortunately, those effectiveness of the enzymes was a little bit lower than we expected and compared to the laboratory, but the conditions are far more from the optimal, so we need to test it more. But the other set of tests we were able to done with a collaboration with Warsaw University of Life Sciences, where we were using the enzyme soaked wipes with the enzyme and wipe teeth once a day for a couple of days during the milking of the mastitis animals. So the enzyme appeared to be very efficient, and when we count down the cells before and after, we saw a massive reduction of staphylococcal cells. So now we are looking for a collaboration with industry, especially the veterinary company who would like to use our enzyme as an anti-infectant in their product for hygienic product or treatment of bovine mastitis. Our startup is very young, being established 2 years ago, and so far we managed to get a small couple of small grants to be able to develop our technology and also the private investor. And we are looking for about 7.75 million euros to increase the readiness of the technology up to level 9, because we would like to out-license the technology once we reach the highest level of the readiness. Nothing would be possible without our CEO, Przemysław Michalak, and
I'm sorry, Elżbieta,
Anna
but we
Mikoshi.
are
Thank you
out
very
of
much.
time. And yes, thank you very much. We come to the question and answer session. So, what is the price in comparison of antibiotics? Cheaper, more expensive?
It depends on the scale. As I said, we have a high scale established production. So when we do it in a high scale, it cannot be very expensive comparing to antibiotics. Even if this is the protein, it has to be expressed in bacteria, in biofermenters.
Thank you. When the product will be ready for sale?
Product as such, as an enzyme, is already ready for sale because we can offer it as a component of the future products. However, probably we'll need more tested and co-development with our future industrial partners. We already sell it to scientists because this enzyme can be also used in science in the laboratory. So we did a little sales for scientists as well.
Does it need any certification?
Probably yes. As a hygienic product, probably not. But if we want to use it as a treatment, it has to be registered as a drug, or at least medical device if it registered as a cosmetic or prevention of infection.
Is it possible to find any similar solution to use it in plant protection?
Yes, I have heard about such usage of other enzymes and also usage of the bacteriophages for such a protection. It can be possible. Those enzymes target a bacteria. So anything which can be bacteria can be targeted, we can find a solution for that, designing a special enzyme. At least in theory, we can do that.
How do you guarantee that the biochar is free of residue like metals?
Biochar, you mean?
It could be a question for the.
That is right, I guess. So maybe later on.
You mean some residues in the sample? Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that was a question for the first startup. Do you have any smart solution that no need to add anything to soil or plants? Does it damage the microflora like antibiotics?
No, it does not. And this is the beauty of the antibiotics, that they are very specific. So you target only pathogens and leave whole microflora, which you find on the, for example, dairy, cattle, untouched.
That's great. Do we have any more questions? If not, thank you very much, Elżbieta, for your presentation and answers. So now, please, we will see the FlyAgData startup. Stefan from Ukraine, you can turn on your camera and microphone and get ready for your presentation. Hello?
Yes, hello.
Please start.
Thank you for the opportunity to be on the stage. My name is Stepan, and today I'll present FlyAgData. FlyAgData is a solution that helps farmers decrease their cost on agri production and increase their profitability. Based on our research, we face three main problems. Farmers overseed, overspray, overapply. Retro machinery with high-end sensors cannot be monitored, and finally, quality control of their operations. Therefore, we created a solution. It's interoperable system. It's interoperable system where farmers see their data in one place, the whole fleet online monitoring, and operation control due to forecasted plan. Based on that, we came up with a hardware solution that can be connected to any type of the machinery, harvester, seeder, sprayer, etc. We collect data from it, process on our server, and transfer it via API to clients' farm management systems. Overall, FlyAgData is a solution that collects agronomical machinery data online, and we transform it into valuable analytics for farmers. If we speak about our advantages, there are a few of them. We use different protocol of connection. It allows us to be connected to 100% of machinery in the world. We use different API integration with various popular farm management systems. And even if the connection on the field is poor, you won't lose your data. Now I want to emphasize what distinguishes us from our competitors. We use different protocol of connection, as I said. We are more affordable and support any type of the machinery and comprehensive analytics that we collect. Agronomical machinery data as well as soil and weather condition data. To point out, we are working on quite huge market. It's 13 billion and it's still growing by 15% each year. Our business model is quite simple. We charge $1,500 per device, and as soon as we finish our analytical unit, we will charge subscription fee. FlyAgData today, 135 devices sold, $200,000 is our revenue over 12 months, and 30,000 hectares covered by our devices. And we assume that we can save up to $150 per hectare, depending on agri operation. Now I'm glad to present our team. Vitaly, our CEO, he has been working 10 plus years with agri companies and he knows everything about their needs. Maxim, our CTO, previously worked with data collection projects and he knows how to process, collect, and secure data. And Mikhail, our lead engineer, he can assess any type of the machinery. And I'm a business developer responsible for working with clients, partners, etc. Now we're looking for 1 million funding that will be spent on marketing and sales and R&D. Thank you for your attention, and I hope together we can help farmers be more productive.
Thank you, Stefan, for a great timing and a great solution. So, do we have any questions for Stefan? What language versions does the software have? Is it available in Polish or English only?
Yes, thank you for the question. So, like the EIT test farm programs, we are working on Polish integration. Now it's in English and Ukrainian language. So, but soon it Polish will be just implemented.
Okay, thanks. What advantages you deliver for clients? Why they choose your solution? Savings?
Yeah, so as I said, that we can save up to $150 per hectare. So how it works, during your crop production process, you need to understand what is going on each stage. So for example, if something went wrong with seeding, so you will see some losses in your yields. If something went wrong with, I don't know, spraying, so you also will see some problems with your yields. And understanding on each stage what is going on, you can save potential implements, also seed materials, spraying materials, and also you are saving and increasing your revenue because you have more yields in the future.
That's interesting. What is your business model? How do you approach the farmers, the distributors?
I think it's more about how we sell. Yeah, thank you for the question. So it's like we have some distributors, network of partners, and our, I would say, networking. So like mainly we sell like through our network. We have like, as I said, that Vitaly, he has been working 10 plus years, and he knows a lot of companies from Europe, America as well, and Ukraine. And our sales mainly from Ukraine, to be honest with you. So that's why we are entering now Polish market, and we want to move on.
So, do we have any questions for FlyAgData? Yes. What is the biggest bottleneck?
The biggest bottleneck, I would say, it's differences between farmers on different markets. Because, for example, if we speak about CIS region, so it's commonly and mainly companies are huge. I mean, they have maybe like 10K plus hectares in the land bank. Europe has small farms, and now that we are finding out how to work with different clients, and I think that we need to implement some tailored solution to each market that we are working on.
So you are trying to be flexible.
Yeah, because for example, I'll explain you. Like if you speak about huge markets, for example, CIS and America, so it's easy to sell how we sell now. If we speak about Europe, we understand that we need to implement some, I would say, less expensive solution. But actually, when we sell it now, so I mean, integration, all consulting stuff is included in the price. So we are considering to give, like box solution to farmers, and you can just install by your hands. So, and it will save us some money on implementation, and farmers give, access to a cheaper solution.
Yes. Thank you very much. I think that's all. Now I would like to introduce Insignes Labs from Poland. Stefan, thank you very much. You can turn off your camera and microphone. Anna, please, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anna, and I'm representing Insignes Labs. Farming is facing challenges due to climate change, including higher pressure of pathogens, which results in up to 40% of yield losses, but also due to changing regulation, less active substances available for effective post and pre-harvest treatment result in great food losses, all resulting in billion-dollar losses. At the same time, farmers have to deal with the Green Deal requirements, including lowering synthetic products. And here we are with our biological and mineral solution. Pure technology will help farmers to improve productivity. We do focus on crops to boost their growth. Our technology can significantly help farmers to reduce usage of synthetic fertilizers and fungicide. What is important, Pure has very low carbon footprint, and it's super environmentally friendly. For 4 seasons now, we already tested our technology in multiple applications, in open field trials on multiple crops, starting with wheat, canola, sugar beet, potatoes, soya, and multiple fruits and vegetables. We test them in Poland, Germany, US, and Saudi Arabia. It is pretty visible how Pure works. It's visible for farmers without need to perform additional analysis because it turns up with a higher yield improvement. The yield can be improved up to 10% in comparison to synthetic programs, and up to 30% if we do consider a control treatment. By using our solutions, farmers can improve significantly productivity, even by 30%. Farmer can produce high quality food using less resources with no pesticide residues. And that all turns out to maximizing their productivity. Our goal is to bring our technology to farmers in every corner of the world, but European market is our starting point. Next year, we would like to set trials in Brazil and US and see how this will go for the next years with approval. Core segments for us are cereals, potatoes, sugar beet, but also veggies and fruits. Currently, we're looking for partnerships, mostly regarding distribution and potential for the development of this technology for other crops varieties, but also different regions of the world. Especially for non-European market, we do consider licensing option. What is ahead of us is we wanted to obtain further registration procedure now. We gain registration approval for 26 countries in Europe, but we wanted to move to the next level and register it effectively in Brazil, mostly on soya and potatoes, and in US on cereals and vineyards. We know that our product has a great potential to be widely used, and therefore we look for partners to take it to the next level for also application for crop protection. Cooperation is a key factor to success, and that's why we already established strong partnerships with innovation community, universities, research centers, but most importantly with industrial partners and multiple farmers. We have been recognized globally as an innovative startup, both in Europe, but also globally. We bring together experienced team, both on the side of R&D, but also development and strategic management. We do have set a pretty bold goals for us to help farmers produce zero pesticide food, help them improve the yield with no environmental impact, and help them to be more effective for pre- and post-harvest treatment to reduce food waste. And all that we supposed to result in reducing carbon footprint and CO2 emission. Why us? Because we know we have a great technology and great team. We just need a bit of money and right partnership to scale our technology globally. We believe that many of our agri-tech challenges can be solved by combining science-driven innovation, grow entrepreneurships, and capital. All pieces are needed in order to success. Thank you so much, and if you do have any question, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Anna. First question, can we use Pure One with fungicides in the same sprayers application?
Absolutely. This product is actually dedicated to be used as a tank mix partner with multiple fungicides, biostimulants, and fertilizer. Or Pure One was tested, and its miscibility test is on an excellent level.
Do you have some data about crop increase in apple production? And that's a question from me.
Yes, we do have tests performed on an apple test. Mostly we focus in last year on a post-harvest treatment. However, we do have such tests performed.
So you can say that there is a crop increase in apples?
It's correlation with a good yield improvement regarding that, yes.
Thank you very much. What is the cost per hectare, for example, in wheat and apples?
I would not set exact price because we haven't gone that yet, but it's affordable, and per hectare used pure application is definitely affordable, much less costly than synthetic products currently used by farmers.
What type of diseases, pathogens you tested?
We validated on over, I think, 40 different pathogens, including fungal and bacterial infections, with majority of the pathogens that causing the major troubles, Septoria, Fusarium, Phytophthora, Alternaria. We cover a wide range of pathogens, both in a lab scale, but most importantly in field applications, in different zones, different trials, different crops.
Is it Pure One certificated for organic farming?
For European ground, probably it won't be, but for Brazil, we took a path that will be registered as organic or dedicated for organic farming. Due to European regulation, which changed this year, probably we cannot hit that. But for all conventional approach, yes, definitely will be applicable.
Product works only against fungi or bacterial too?
It's not just toward fungi or bacteria, but we concentrate on the crops. We boost their immune system to defend against both abiotic and biotic stress, then including fungi and bacteria. We also mitigate the risk of, I don't know, drought stress or unfavorable environmental conditions. But we prove it's effectively as a tank mix partner with both fungi and bacterial infections.
Confirm me, please, is Pure One already certified for sale in EU market?
Yes, according new regulatory law that was applied this year in July, yes, we have first certificate to be able to start selling this product in 26 countries in Europe. Correct.
What is the effectiveness in combining fungal diseases expressed in percents?
When we combine this product with a tank mix partner, we have efficacy, depends on a crop, but starting from 73% up to 90-ish, depends on infestation rate, but also crop variety. We have very high parameters regarding wheat, Septoria, Bloomeria, Fusarium, but regarding, I don't know, potatoes, we control pretty well Phytophthora or Alternaria. Regarding sugar beet, Cercospora we hitting efficacy level nearly 87%, which is quite a result.
What is one partnership do you need?
Both, like for the co-development of technology, because this is a platform technology. It's not a single product, but we have a pipeline of the product already set to be launched. And that's the one thing. And of course, money related to that. It's always needed to scale up and thinking about technology globally, not locally.
So, yes, I think it's
of our product.
The last question, what is the secret?
Yeah, we develop our technology according CPAC standards. Then shelf life of our product is over 3 years, up to 54 Celsius degree. Tested, no requirements to have it in special condition. Can be stored and applied and distributed as a crop protection product or fertilizer. No special requirements and quite extensive shelf life.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for answers. Please turn off your camera and microphone. And now we are going to the last startup in this part of Nangatech. Magdalena, please tell us more about your startup.
Thank you, Karol, and good morning, everyone. I'm Magdalena Szawarska, and I'm a co-founder and CEO at Nangatech. At Nangatech, we help growers face their challenges. They all need to become more productive as the global population is rising, and in 7 years, we will need 2 billion of food more. Also, they need to become more ecological in their action to lower currently extremely vast environmental footprint of agriculture. And what's also extremely important, they need to stay profitable in difficult economic times. Skyrocketing prices of all media and farming inputs, especially fertilizers, are a nightmare for many growers who struggle with profitability. Farmer knows that to face these challenges, they need innovation. At Nangatech, we offer them a way to maximize the use of natural resources that they already have. And there is one resource that can be crucial for them. All farmers have it, but as they cannot see it, usually they are not aware of it. The resource is oxygen. We need to deliver way more oxygen to the plant's root system to make it healthy, strong, develop well, and absorb nutrients more easily. And the better the roots, the better the whole plants grow, the better the productivity, and less fertilizers are used. So how farmers can leverage the power of oxygen? It took us almost 2 years to create a perfect solution for them, the one that's going to be simple to use and very effective. Our engineers created a series of smart devices we call GROW. They extremely efficiently generate oxygen from the air and inject it into the irrigation water to guarantee high levels of oxygen in plants' root zone. Some may think water oxygenation is easy, but if you ever try it, you know it's not. We had to create nanobubble advanced technology to guarantee high levels of oxygen in the water. Nanobubbles are 2,500 times smaller than a grain of salt, and we can inject hundreds of millions of them to every drop of water, and they will stay in it for long weeks, guaranteeing high levels of oxygen. All of our devices are plug and play and can be easily implemented to all irrigation systems. And our solution is scalable to different needs, so all growers, outdoors and indoor ones, can use our solution as long as they have irrigation system. How do we know that? We tested that. We've been collaborating with Polish growers and tested our solution on fruits, herbs, and vegetables. And thanks to the test farm program, we're also able to collaborate with Rafał Podstawka and check our solution on his raspberry farm. All data from our pilot studies made us sure that our solution is ready to use and it's extremely effective. We always observe vast improvement when it comes to the health and condition of the roots. And thanks to the implementation of our technology, farmers on average can higher their yields up to 20%, and also they can reduce their costs by lowering the amount of fertilizers by 10 to 30%. Next year, we go to the market. We decided that our first markets will be greenhouses and vertical farms. It's a market that's going to grow 10 to 20% each year. And what's very important for us, growers from this segment use plenty of technology. And the more technology people use, the more new technology they are willing to implement. We will sell our devices directly and for partners. In 3 years from now, we would like to also offer them in technology as a service model to make our solution even more available for a wide range of growers. And in 2025, we hope to reach a revenue of 30 million euros. What will help us to get there? We are a spin-off from Polish manufacturing company that's been on the market for almost 50 years.
30 seconds.
We combine decades when it comes to engineering, biotechnology, and running business. It all made us capable of creating state-of-the-art nanobubble technology. Now, our aim is to make it available for commercial growers. And we are searching for partners, especially active distributors, to help us promote our solution. And also, starting from the third quarter of upcoming year, we'll be searching for investors to help us scale our solution. We know we won't revolutionize the whole industry with one technology, but we are confident that thanks to the power of oxygen, we can make farmers more sustainable and more successful. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Magdalena. So the first question, is the nanobubbles technology patented?
We are working on that with our IP lawyers, and we'll be filing patent files starting next year.
Do you have any standardized model of device, or it must be updated or to specific irrigation system every time?
Yes, we created a series of these devices, so it means we do have standardized models. We will sell 3 major models to agriculture, depending on the water flow that needs to be treated. But also it is possible so that we could create a specific model if somebody had very particular needs.
How oxygen is bound so that it can be taken up by the roots and not evaporate?
Okay, thank you for this question. Yes, in fact, that's the big reason why we also had to invent the nanobubble technology, because the oxygen does evaporate and it disappears from the water very quickly. But in fact, there are 2 things here. First of all, we use nanobubbles. They stay in water for long periods of time, and they're like a battery of oxygen in the water. So when they shrink, they dissolve in water and always guarantee high levels of it. And the other thing is that in general, we produced water at the facilities. So at the growers, and in general, the water is used quickly.
What is the return on investment for the farmer when farmer will pay off the cost of the unit?
This probably depends on individual situation and should be calculated every single time. But having an example, if we have a grower, tomato growers, greenhouse growers who has 3 hectares of tomatoes, he will get a return on his investment in a year.
You said that your solution is possible to use at outdoors crops. How? If I understand well, we need a lot of water to use it. What about the drought?
So we can use it outdoors as long as there is irrigation system. If there is none, probably we cannot implement our technology. So I guess the question about drought is about the situation when there is no irrigation system.
What about ROS stress for root cell? Is there any scientific references?
There is only little research about this topic, being totally honest. But in fact, what we also observe from our pilot studies and from our laboratory studies is that when we create reactive oxygen species, they boost the immune systems of the plants, so they are less prone to stressful conditions.
Do you test it in orchards, apple, pear, cherries?
Thank you, Carol, for this question.
Yes, I'm in love with apples. You showed the slide with a raspberry farm. So what about orchards?
Yes. We haven't tested on orchards yet, but for sure we will be willing to do that.
So, thank you very much for questions and answers. Thank everyone for participating, for your startups, for your history, your ideas. Now we will have a short 10 minutes break. Please stay logged in our chat room or applications. See you in the 10 minutes. Hello once again after a short break. I forgot on the first part, we got viewers from almost every country, from Europe and also from the United States. There are some possible investors, and this word investor is very important from the point of view of a startup, because these companies generally start with the very high cost and limited revenue, so they are looking for investors. These small companies also want to become the bigger one, bigger than the one or couple single founders. So to say more about it, what are investors looking for in agri-food startups? I want to ask Mr. Paweł and Arne, please turn on your microphones and cameras and tell us more about it.
Hello, everyone. Once again, I hope your heads are a bit refreshed. Glasses full of water, either cups full of tea or coffee. Now I'm happy to host Arne. How yet if I pronounce your surname properly. Hi, Arne.
Hi.
So I will give a short introduction for the audience, who you are and who do you represent. So Arne is investor. Let me look at my cheat list. Is an investment analyst at Astanor Ventures, and Astanor Ventures has raised in 2020 solid sum of 325 million euro in a single venture fund. What was, and for the 2020, it was the largest impact fund in Europe. So I'm very happy to have you with 3 missions of investments, as I read on your website. So it is accelerating regenerative agriculture solutions for scalable agroecology. The second is connecting the value chain. So it means fixing supply chains, introducing fair remunerations, traceability, and transparency. And the last is innovating agri-food transformation processes, facilitating the sustainable production of food and agriculture. So I guess all of our solutions that have been presented today fits to your missions. In the numbers, according to Crunchbase, you've made 33 investments as a leading investor or co-investor. This year there were 15 investments so far, and you can be proud for sure of investments in insect or in-farm. And important, you are investing in seed investments. So this is what our startups need from Netherlands, France, Belgium, and even overseas in USA. But to give the audience perspective, I invited Arne not by accident, as Arne approached me during the summer to showcase him the solutions that we have, as Central and Eastern Europe is also their target market. So you are the right person to be present here, and I would like to listen to your answers on my question. But before, a short overview of investment markets, what happening now in Europe. So I based my 3 short slides on Dealroom platform. So for sure, because of the war crisis, the food tech, and not only startups, has been cooled down in third quarter of 2022. The investment has dropped by 65% year by year. And more positive sides of it, but in this 4.7 million that has been invested throughout the last year, the biggest part takes the agritech solutions. So I hope our startups still have chance to gain their investor. And still, we are a sea a really little market in comparison to Europe. However, market growth in C is rising the fastest in Europe. So I hope that investors are willing to look at our portfolio of solutions that we have at EIT Food. So Arne, once again, thank you for accepting the invitations. And I have a few questions that might be interesting for the startups that we have. So I'd like to, as Tanner is the star in impact fund in Europe, I'd like to familiarize a bit with Astanor investment strategy in names. Do you have a checklist for agritech startups? What to start negotiating an investment with them? What startups? What kind of list do you have, if you have any?
So first of all, thanks again, Pavel, for the warm introduction, and then hello everyone on the panel or on the chat. Exactly. So I'll jump right into it. I think you covered the introduction quite well on Astanor's part. So indeed, it's very important to say that Astanor is an impact investor that is looking to deliver financial, social, and environmental returns in equal measure. So we believe that the future in the agricultural system, in an agricultural system that provides affordable nutrients for the soon-to-be 10 billion people that will be walking this planet, and to do so, by investing in the most disruptive agriculture and food technology systems, and to do so very, very concrete. We don't have a checklist with boxes that we need to check. So it is still VC, and it is still early stage investing. So we believe in stories and in people that will make this actually a reality. So if I would have to say something, and it's very important to stress, so we are an impact investor that is looking at what our own kind of internal framework is, a set of 6 impact KPIs that we track and actually kind of also advise our own startups on executing to reach their full impact and financial and business potential. So that's maybe a first soft check that needs to be happen. So the solution that the company is bringing has to be impactful and scalable, because without scale there's no point in actually making a change in the what we found to be broken system from soil to gut. So that's, I think, one more thing. Then a second thing, as we all know, being very close to the agricultural system, the agricultural sector is still very early in the adoption and the actual tapping into the entire innovation and technical solution space. So that's it needs to be clear, and the solution that is provided by a company needs to be a clear no-brainer for this farmer. We know that farmers in general have about 50 harvests in their lifetime. We all know that they're quite risk averse, and that it has to be a clear solution that brings not only yield optimization it has to be a return on their own investment very, very quickly and very, very clear. And then I think a third and very, very, of course, important thing to mention is that we were looking for well-balanced, ambitious, and mission-aligned teams that are eager to actually make a change in the current broken food system, to start make a change rising from the soil up.
Yeah, thank you, Arne. So I, as I always say to startups, that investors and their solution, beside bringing the impact, it must be also like economical, beneficial for the investor, and first of all for the farmer to be successfully introduced in the market. And when it comes to that you mentioned that product must be scalable. Are you looking at the global scale or the regional? How do you approach it?
So we're looking at a global scale. That's what we're aiming to do. So we back founders from early stage that can be seed rounds, but our sweet spot would be Series A round, for example, to actually make make the solution that the companies provide able to be implemented not only on regional scale but on a global stage to have as much impact as possible.
Okay, thank you. Another question I'd like to ask you about the references, letter of intents, early adopters. So while startup approaching you, it should have, even on early stage phase, do they should have it, or it is good to well seen to have it, or it is not necessary? How do you approach it?
So I think that's a bit for every investor, but it's for us. It's just like that. It's very important to have these early adopters in place and to have a clear product market fit. That's extremely important. That because it provides the first validation of not only a economic viability of the solution that the company brings, but it should also give the first proof points of the impact that the solution is providing. So that to the extent of helping the agricultural system to be better for the farmer, the consumer, but also, of course, for the environment and the entire ecosystem that it is entailed to.
Okay, so if you could answer my question, yes or no, or so do they always need the early adopter provided, or references, or how it looks?
I would say no, as in we have invested, for example, in companies that have not been able to prove these kind of numbers. But at the other hand, it is a high important stake, and we do support companies and to really look for these numbers as they speak louder than words sometimes.
Okay, Arne, I see the questions in the chat, so our audience goes first, of course. How do you differentiate in startups that are working on similar technologies, especially in early stage startups? Okay, so the concurrence and competition, how do you look at it?
It's a very good question. I think it's, of course, again, there's many different things at scale and at stake here. So we're not only looking at the actual solution or the team only, but we are looking at what is this company bringing next to the other ones. What is the moat, the actual unique selling point that is provided by a company? What is different here that is not currently present in the market and that will actually make a disruptive change in the current system?
Okay, thank you. And next question. Do you know some startups from your portfolio which became a bigger, well-prospering company?
So for first fund, Aston Ventures, who's only been launched in 2018 and actually started investing only a couple of years ago. So we have not have any big exits from our first fund, but we have some companies, of course, that we are well actively and strategically supporting towards their scaling live. And I think you've already mentioned an Inform or an Insect, which are companies that are well reaching unicorn stages and that have been rising and actually scaling all over the world. So I think that's a couple of names. Other ones to mention would be, for example, a Monarch tractor that is also close to the agricultural system that is designing autonomous and electric tractors to scale regenerative agriculture in a different way.
Okay, but I guess, okay, if I got you right, you haven't made any exit, but for sure the valuation of startups has increased within this last few years, of some at least.
Exactly. So since we engage and then kind of step in the story on a very early stage, we have seen quite some value step-ups from valuation step-ups from most of our startups within our portfolio.
Yeah, okay. So ask for the audience. So dears, if you have any questions to Arne, please type it. And in the meantime, I have two more questions to Arne. What startup should do to be visible and interesting for Astana? they should be on events, or they should approach you directly, or you are scouting through the deal room or events. I have a startup and I want to approach you successfully. What I have to do?
That's a very good question, and I think that's something that is a general kind of lesson that could help for a lot of startups still. So it's an advice to kind of approach your own fundraising process like a sales process. It's to stand in this as a very active position and try to structure your entire process. So be out there, try to make a name, try to connect within the ecosystem, not only of other startups and other clients, but also within the VC network, to kind of get your pitch deck not only sent through a inbox page or landing page of a website, but also try to actively engage with the people at the funds to try to bring your file on top of the desk, and I would say on top of the pile. And then again, it's to find a path in, and to clearly and cleanly state your narrative on what you're doing to disrupt the entire ecosystem and the agricultural system, I would say.
Okay, so in a one word, be pushy and don't be afraid of people in investment funds.
Be out there.
Yeah.
Be out there and be clear.
Be eager. And the last question, or it is even not the question. Oh yeah, it's a question. I'd like to give some good practice tips for startups for smooth introduction to VC. Do you have like good tips from your experience to be in the discussion in Astana or Found?
Yeah, exactly. So I think the first or the previous answer that I gave is already a bit entailed to that one. So I think treat your fundraising process like you treat your sales process. I think a clear and structured way of approaching and actually engaging with venture capitalists and other investors is a very sending your product to a possible client will also not do the trick to sign an entire contract. So try to be very engaged and try to be very very helpful in the entire process. And then on a second note, and I think that's so very important to have as investors. We of course see a lot of cases, and it's important for a startup to be clean and have a neat narrative and clearly walk an investor through the entire story that you're trying to convey, all the way from the problem that the company solution is trying to contribute to solve to the concrete steps that it is taking to actually solve the problem, and then of course and how you are going to make money out of this. And that's I think a very very I would say logical and people might overlook the very essence to be clean, simple, and sometimes less is more, because investors do see a lot of pitch decks and with only buzzwords you don't get to the next steps.
Yeah. Thank you for your answer. I see a good question from the chart from Samuel. What do you see as emerging tech markets that are up next, which Astana are focused?
Exactly, it's a very good question, and I think it's first of all there's many, and I think I could jump on a call and then talk about this for an entire morning, but I'll try to keep it concise and sum up a couple of them. But I think like I mentioned, I think it's the entire ag system is still on a very very early stage and a very very on the bottom of the entire adoption curve of innovation and technology in the entire system. So I think it's software and kind of smart agriculture and precision agriculture is one of the areas where we're looking into very very much, and I think it's still lots to learn. I think it's still a quite and too much manual space where there's not only low-hanging fruits but future value to be captured by just making systems smarter and try to implement and try to not only depend on the brains of farmers, but try to capture data and make as much use out of the data to take agriculture and yields to another level. And then a second part is of course trying to look for impactful solutions indoors and try to find solutions to the current bottlenecks in the system. We don't have enough land to feed the people around the world. We're not able to provide calories for the growing food population, so we'll try to find it elsewhere. And I think that's creative solutions around the world that are popping up that will be giving these solutions.
Okay, to wrap it up, so Astanor is looking for smart solutions, precision agriculture, manual exchanging manual work, capturing data, and indoor solutions.
Those are a couple of good ones. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so maybe the last question from me. The most common mistakes made by startup in collaboration with investors, what they do wrong.
Yeah, again, I think it's already mentioned again, but I think that first point on it's not only there's not things in pitch decks and in first interaction with VCs that are red flags. It's also sometimes or things that are missing in these interactions. It's also sometimes a not being clear enough on what your solution is bringing. So try to be simple. Keep less is more. In I would say, and it's again a tagline that is used a lot, but it's very, very simple. And then try to provide and be to the point in bringing across your message and your entire narrative, not only your solution, your business model, but also on why you're doing this and how you're going to do this.
Arne, excellent. Thank you for your answers, and happy to have you once again. And now let's get ready for another round of 5 great solutions from Central and Eastern Europe. Thank you, and Karol, I pass the voice to you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Paweł. Thank you, Arne, for explaining these financial things. Now I want to introduce Dominika from Plant.id Sensor from Czech Republic. Dominika, you can turn on your camera and microphone and tell us more about your solution. Okay.
Hi, my name is Dominika, and this is my colleague Teresa, and I will tell you more about our solution, Plant.id Sensor. Here we are. So what we are trying to solve is that the farmer needs to estimate how many apples he will harvest in the autumn. Because this helps him with the planning, budgeting, and also insurance of his crops. And what is our solution? We are counting the flowers in the spring, actually, and automatically, not manually. We're using machine learning for it to help him estimate the final number of apples he will harvest half year later. Our technology is easy because what we are using is just a mobile phone of the farmer who will download a special app. He will attach the phone to his machine, which he already has, and scan and take photos of the apple trees in his orchard. And we process the data. We can count how many flowers, future apples, they are, and then estimated with our machine learning models what the yield will be. As far as we know, there are no similar solution on the market yet. There is some academic research which handles the fruit counting, and also there is some yield estimation which works from satellite images, but this is unsuitable for example, apples or even smaller fruits like some berries. We are targeting mostly Europe at the beginning, at least. We also want to move to USA, and there are like many apple orchards, and the solution is also scalable for other fruit, like I said, berries, or other apple trees, not only apple trees. the process we are doing is quite slow because we actually need to wait for the apples to grow. So we just recently received the final counts of the apples which we scanned this spring. So we need to evaluate this data, and next in our roadmap is to design the mobile app and promote it to the market. Our business plan, as I mentioned, we want to provide this directly like B2C solution for the farmer in form of the mobile app, which he can download and process the images himself. And we already have some farmer contacts thanks to the test farms, and also we gathered some partners at CIMA fair in Paris last month. We also been part of some accelerators like Climate Challenge, where we done similar things and we focus more on the precise agriculture, but it's always like analysis of the image data for and plants in them. We don't have any clients yet because we are still like developing the solution, but as I said, we believe our farmer partner will be our first client, and we also have partners from the fair. So we are currently looking for more farmers who will help us to develop the solution and test the mobile app next year. That's all we need right now. And at the end, this is our team. Andrzej is our CEO and idea maker who is leading us to success. I'm Dominika. I do the business part of it, and we have our machine learning expert who is making the software for us, and here Teresa is with me, is the researcher. Thanks, and contact us if you want to know more.
Thank you very much. I remember that we have met in orchard near Sandomierz when we are testing this solution.
Yeah.
That's correct?
Yeah, we did.
So the first question, can we use all type of smartphones for this technology?
Yeah, I would say yes, although like more modern ones, the better camera there is, the better result there will be. But basically we tested it with just some ordinary, not so expensive mobile phones, so it should be fine. Like if you don't have some really old one with bad camera, but it should be fine.
Do you analyze only flowers or small apples too?
So this year we analyzed only flowers because we were in Poland in spring when the trees were flowering. But it can be also used for small apples, but we would need to collect another data for this.
Have you compared realistic number of flowers to your estimated data? What is the efficiency?
We are currently in the process of comparing it because we are still communicating with the farmer and getting the final data. So we don't have the efficiency number right now.
What is maximum tractor speed for this analysis? Can we do it, for example, during spring?
So we haven't tested it during spring. We were just like inspecting it. I'm not sure what the tractor speed was. It also depends like on the on more parameters like light conditions and shutter speed of the camera. But yes, I think like if you're not driving some formula through the orchard, it won't be blurred, so we can use the photos.
With how many apple farmers have you consulted the need to build your solution?
So we consulted mainly with the test farms, with Karol here, and he recommended us the farmer from Poland. and I think he was the only one yet.
Yeah.
But we also spoke on the fair with other farmers after that.
Does your solution apply to olives and almonds?
Like, not, as I mentioned, not right now, but we think this is like pretty scalable. It is very similar use case, so we can do it if there is some farmer with olive orchards or almond orchard. We can also collaborate and do this for other plant species too.
When you will be ready to sell the software?
So according to presentation, there was a 3-year plan, but we hope to have a prototype like ready next year. It will be for the apples. If we want to add other plant species, we'll need again to take photos of the flowers and then wait to the harvest time. So this can slow it a little bit, but otherwise next year.
Do you plan to provide some AIP to integrate your solution with other systems?
It's not our original idea, but we currently have other services which we provide via API. So I can imagine this can be also an option. It's actually a very good idea. It depends if there is someone who wants to integrate it.
Okay, so this was the last question. Thank you very much. Oh no, there is another one. Sorry. No, let's say this could be answered by email. Thank you very much. You can now turn off your camera. And now I want to welcome Sławomir from PowerCup from Poland. Okay, you can start now. Please remember about the 5 minutes time.
Okay. So let me check this. It works. Okay. So, what's the global problem of humanity these days? Energy and the fuel to get the energy. Never stronger than today, we seeing the being dependent of foreign fuel providers could be really dangerous. So this is why we take agriculture waste and change them into modern fuel. Unfortunately, all commonly known kinds of biomass are going to be more expensive and more difficult to get. But there's one more thing, and it's corn, but not the grain. It's needed to other important purposes. I'm talking about the cores of the cobs. When the grain is already taken, and until now, the cores of the cobs was just agriculture waste. And we discovered that from energetic point of view, they're almost like wood. And you know what? Until now, nobody cares. So this is why we designed Power Maize Collector. It works together with a regular corn combine, like a trailer, but with a special system to select and collect the cores of the corn. And then we get the material to pelletization process. Then we have a pelletization process. It's quite commonly known and simple, but the pellet made from this particular material is quite a new idea. And interesting thing that from an energetic point of view, they're almost like a wood pellet. The scale that we can provide, I mean, now, based on our partnership pellet factories, is about 200 tons per week. Of course, the needs are much time bigger. And the most important thing is the availability of the material is growing because of the popularity of the crops of the corn. The composition of the PowerCup pellet is excellent. All those crazy parts are almost nothing, and the composition fulfilled the R&D regulations concerning CO2 emissions. The main part of the energy market that we would like to supply is the commercial energy industry. Even today, in this particular moment, we are in the middle of delivery to the big power heat station to the north part of Poland. Honestly speaking, the pelletization idea is just a part of the bigger project. We concentrate on the biomass gasification process that provides heat and energy, and the material are also the cores of the COPs. Here you can see how our ecosystem. It's pretty complicated, but I just like to say that it's just a part of the business. We have a lot of today's and upcoming customers, and for now we are looking for investors that can be also partners in our business. For now, we have to purchase the pelleting line. So to produce the pellet for such a scale, there's big needs, like I said, in the commercial energy industry. Interesting thing is that the ROI for this project is such amazing. We are pretty sure that we can achieve the break-even point within even less than 2 years, because the margin is very high. So please join us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sławomir. Presentation timing like with a stopwatch. So, what's your transport system? Do you go to collect the waste? Do you ask the farmer to come to you? How does it work?
There are many models. The best situation is if our customer is a big agriculture. I mean, more than 500 hectares, because you can collect about 1.5, maybe 2 tons of the material from 1 hectare. So the amount of the material will be big enough to do the business. So this particular agriculture could use the material on the site, or to sell us, or we can hire our selector for the agriculture, then take the material. That's open space. Yeah, there are many ways to transport. I mean, many ways to be a partner and the customer of this process. There's a
what is your business model? Are you selling the trailers, or you collect the cups and sell the pellet?
Like I said, there are many models. For example, we are in the middle of negotiations. I hope the next week we're gonna sign the contract for. It's gonna be a huge amount of selectors. I mean, dozens. And this particular customer will produce pellet by themselves, because they already have the factories. But in this particular situation that we are looking for investors, I think the biggest margin you can achieve when you catch a whole process. I mean, we can be a partner of a big agriculture, let them use our selector, take the material, produce the pellet, and be a supplier for a big energetic industry. This is it makes the biggest margin, and is the most, I think, profitable.
Which are your target markets?
In fact, Poland is a kind of trampoline for us. In fact, of course, right now we got a lot of today's and upcoming customers in Poland, but finally, all countries that they are like corn countries are our markets. So in Europe, it's Hungary, Serbia, of course, France. But also we had a big opportunities in Mexico and the States, of course, United States, and also in part of the Africa. We attend a lot of fairs globally this year, and the amount of corn crops looks like this. So the availability of the material so needed today is going up. So everywhere.
Are these competitors in the market making power out? Are any competitors in the market making power out of cows?
Not such a scale. There are a few like self-made solutions. And a few agricultures globally use this idea to, because before you take yearly after the course just drops and disappears. So many agriculture discovered that it could be fuel, so they just burn in the regular ovens to get mostly heat for dryers, especially to dry the grain. And it's they can equalize the amount of energy that they have to use. But directly answering your question, there are no such a competitors.
What about sunflower? Will it work with sunflower hats?
Hats? You mean the whole part? The main problem of the biomass is moisture. I mean how much how many water is inside. So I'm not sure about humidity or moisture in this part of the sunflower. I'm pretty sure the seals of the grain of sunflower are very popular as a material for pelletization, but the quality of the pellets from the sunflower leaves, they are like 50% lower than our one.
Okay, thank you very much, Sławomir. Now, startup from Hungary. Sławomir, you can turn off your camera and microphone, and please, Donat, you can connect with us and tell us more about your solution.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Donat from SMAP Lab. I would like to share my story. I grew up in a farming family in Hungary, close to Debrecen, and we grow corn. And there was a big problem about the European corn border. And that was the point where we decided to start to build some solution which help the farmers to fight against the insects generally. So the total numbers, the market what we are targeting is basically based on the Food and Agriculture Organization, is 40% of the global crop production is lost due to insect pests. So it costs hundreds of billions of dollars in each year for the economy, and its process is accelerating year by year. As I mentioned, I grew up in a farm, so I know what was the old way to collect data. Insect data from the field is basically using manual traps, manual pheromone traps. Every day you have to go to the traps, checking it, counting the insects, and somehow making statistic on that. And we think that it's not worth to do that, and the quality of the data is really questionable. So the decision is not always good. What you do based on the data, so we decided to make a totally transparent digital way to collect the data. So we created the SMAP Lab Track Premium, our first product in 2 years ago, which basically attract the insect in 2 different ways, or a selective light solution or a sex pheromone. The insects fly inside the traps where we take a picture, sending that picture to our server, where we analyze the picture and making predictive models, what is the right time to use the pesticide. We are really proud that we have great customers, great validation. In the previous years, we're working with large pesticide companies, farms in different regions in Europe, the Latin market, and also in Uzbekistan. And SVG Ventures from California invested our company also. One of our flagship projects in Uzbekistan is 38,000 hectare biocotton monitoring project to have them to use totally biological controls against the insects. Other large flagship project working with FMC to helping the FMC customers to use the pesticide in the right time. We are monitoring for them in 4 countries, and hopefully in the coming years we will monitoring in more and more countries as well. We have an understanding of the market is that there are competitors, and the pricing of the monitoring at the moment is too high to be change the whole industry. And that's why we started to develop the small product because MapLab Mini, it's a digital layer of any type of trap. So not just the pheromone traps, it can be a yellow sticky traps, a water traps, or any different type of traps. And that price is 10 times lower than the market price of any other type of traps. And we really wanted to help all the farmers in each region in the world to fight against the insect with the minimum amount of pesticide or biopesticides. As I mentioned, we started with the corn because we have a great understanding on the arable market, and now we are going to the specialty crops market as well. And we wanted to potentially help the European farmers to reach a Green Deal where they have to decrease their pesticide usage by 50%. As I mentioned, we have 2 different types of product. The premium one, it's already installed in several countries, and it's validated, and our new product will be validated in this year with several regions, and more than 2,000 devices will be installed everywhere in the world, basically. As I mentioned, we have competitors. The general overview of that, the market is overpriced based on our understanding and what we heard from the farmers. That's why we created the MapLab Trap Mini, which price is much lower than the other competitors. The team, we located in Hungary. We have a 12 employee company at the moment. My co-founders are now responsible for the agriculture related topic. I am responsible for the product, and Bence joined us to help us the international business development. Thank you very much for the attention.
Thank you very much. What are you looking for now?
Yes, so now we are basically looking as much pilot partners as possible, as many countries as possible, and as many cultures as possible, because we wanted to clearly what our new technology means in different regions and different cultures. What is the profitability to use our technology? And also we are searching for strategic partners. Strategic partners for us, for example, pesticide companies, other IoT device providers, distributors on the market, to not just making a product, but rather understanding what our data can mean for the other players in the segments, and how can we monetize on the data, which means for us how can we lower the cost of the hardware, because we can make an extra profit on the data that we can create.
Do you plan to integrate your solution with recommendations on the use of plant protection products?
So our philosophy is that we would like to be best to collect the data and analyze the data in the insect pest pressure territory, and we didn't want it to become a player who is providing anybody the recommendation. So we more likely wanted to work together with the plant protection expert, agronomists, and the players who can give relevant advice to the farmers based on our data.
Is SMAP Lab a full-time job for the team?
Yes, definitely. So we have 7 full-time employees and 5 contractors who is working between 20 to 30 hours for us each week.
So thank you very much. That was the last question. Now, please, representatives from Space Corp Technologies, also from Hungary, you can connect.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello.
How are you guys? Hi, how are you?
Very well. Very well. You can start. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, just a moment. I need to, yeah. Is everything okay on screen?
Yes, everything's okay. You can start now your presentation.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon. I am Mary Grace of Space Crop Technologies. Space Crop is an agricultural software company that helps farms manage irrigation and increase crop resiliency using satellite data and artificial intelligence. Let me explain why it is important right now and in the future. Climate change affects irrigation supply in agriculture. Unfortunately, 70% of the global water is being used in agriculture. As production cost increases due to growing population, we need a smart solution to produce more with less resources. Spacecraft has developed an algorithm that can predict water availability in the soil and its effects on crop growth. Our software provides information on when is the best time to irrigate and what is the right amount of water needed by a crop. Also, our automated farm management dashboard can help farmers monitor their expenses and crop production every season. Using satellite data and machine learning, we can predict continuously how much water is available in the soil and how much water is needed in a crop. Our software is fully integrated with detailed weather forecasting information, irrigation schedule alerts, and a tracking system for water and energy consumption. We have been monitoring 10 farms in Hungary. Meet Logan, who is one of the farmers who sees the benefits of using our solution. Before, he would spend a lot of time in the farm to make sure that the crops are watered adequately. Now, Logan could monitor his farm remotely using our software. Using our technology, we are helping farms increase their net profit business by reducing water and energy consumption and crop risk and soil degradation. Our SaaS business model is B2B by selling our data and licenses to industrial companies. We are offering subscription packages to plantation farms at least 1,200 euros during the demonstration phase. Spacecraft is offering data and software as a service, which are highly scalable in different regions, cost-effective, and sustainable, while the hardware products in the market are expensive and resource-intensive. Based on satellite-based solutions, Spacecraft offers a fully integrated software with crop-based irrigation recommendations, detailed weather forecasting, crop monitoring, and farm management information system. The smart irrigation market will grow by 17% in the EU in 5 years. We are going to cover at least 2% of that market. We are starting in Hungary and then scaling up in Spain, Italy, Portugal, and other EU countries. We are partnering with agricultural machinery companies and cooperatives. We have been doing sales demonstrations already to industrial companies such as Kosun, Biouhel, Safetra, and KWS, and building a strong marketing presence. Spacecraft has been a registered company in Hungary. Through ISABEC funding, we were able to develop our first MVP, monitor 10 farms in Hungary, and build a full-stack development team. And then we were able to raise some pre-seed investment and onboard 5 plantation farms in Spain and Italy. We secured a contract with the Municipal Water Authority in Greece to test our technology. We are currently raising 500,000 euros to help us scale up our business operations and reach more farms and customers. Yes, we will make it happen because our team is very diverse, passionate, and has already achieved a lot of things in the past months. Together with our official partners, I am inviting you to join and partner with us in making the space revolution a reality. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you.
So we got some questions for you. Are the prices the same for all regions?
At the moment, we are still in the demonstration phase. So we are offering a basic service setup fee for all of our clients. And then we will start fully commercializing in 2024.
Is the product already available on the market?
Yes, we are doing our demonstration with several farms in Hungary, in Spain, and Italy. And also, we are going to fully commercialize in 2024 with the full commercial price.
So we are talking about test, or can I buy it now?
Right now, we are doing demonstration testing with different types of farms, mainly plantation farms, medium to large scale farms, because one of our primary service features is into estimating crop water requirements. And we are doing it with different use cases of different types of crops. Right now in Hungary, we are monitoring 10 farms of different types of crops. So what we can offer right now is a basic service fee for testing. And then we would be able to, once we have established a success fee based on the indicators that we agree with our test farms, then that's the time that we will be offering the full commercial service.
How do you measure water needs for particular crops?
So we have developed an algorithm based on evapotranspiration model by looking at different parameters such as soil moisture, humidity, type of crop, type of irrigation practices, type of soil. So we're doing it in a tailored base use case. So it is important for us to test our algorithm, not only in Hungary, but also in the Mediterranean region, such as Italy, Spain, Portugal, and Greece, so that we can achieve much more robust data for our algorithm.
500,000 euro you want to raise in 2023 is enough to cross break-even point?
Yes. We are actually going to have our ROI in 2026 in 3 years based on our sales forecast. So for that 500,000 euros, we would be able to fully operate in full scale from 2024 to 2026.
So that was the last question. Thank you very much, Mary, for your presentation. So I would like to welcome Miron from Ribes Technologies. Do we hear each other? Hello?
Yes. Hi.
So please tell us more about your solution.
Thanks a lot for having us, and thanks a lot everyone for staying until the very end. Yes, so Europe and pesticides. Every year, more than 300 millions of kilograms of pesticides are used in European agriculture. They enter the environment, destroying the rich biodiversity of our soil, polluting rivers across Europe, and causing a sharp decline in pollinators. They also end up in the food we eat with samples with a mixture of residues of up to 28 different types of pesticides detected. European Union identifies this problem and set the goal to reduce the use of pesticides by 50%. That means regulations and fines are coming, but also a support for innovation. But you cannot fix it all at once, and we focus on berries. Why? We have access to a plantation and we experience the problems there firsthand. Meet Łukasz, our co-founder, owner of 40 hectares of black currant plantation. His reality is that the prices of fruits fluctuate, but the cost of pesticides is steadily rising. So he's balancing on the edge of the profitability. And he cannot simply switch to fully ecological plantation, it's just too risky. So with the EU policy changes coming, his and other owners' situation will be even more difficult. As Ripes Technologies, we bring the solution, a precision agriculture for berry plantations. We detect and target infections with exactly where they are, paving a way for a more sustainable, data-driven plantation management. In the first phase, our product is hardware consisting of cameras and light sources that uses the machinery already available on the plantation. It's attached to a tractor and integrates with the sprayer. And the process is, we observe the bushes, and if infection is detected, we trigger the spraying. It's possible thanks to the research we did at the university that found a specific spectrum of lights that make the insects light up. It's our competitive advantage, and it allows AI to reliably make detection in split second. But the long-term impact comes from the data we collect. We'll learn more about the plantation, but also will enable traceability. So using our product, comparing to the situation where currently the whole plantation is sprayed, by targeting only infected areas, we reduce spraying by 50%. And pesticides are half of all the cost of running the plantation. That means we offer a saving of 25%. A proportion of that is offered to owners as a saving, and the rest of it is the foundation of our business model. €1,000 per hectare is the subscription fee for using our product in hardware as a service model. Multiplying it by the size of our target plantation and the lifetime of our product, 3 years, reducing the costs, we end up with a healthy 60% gross profit margin. And we know where we start, with Polish black currant plantations. It's a fantastic runway that will get us to the target market, the European grapes plantation. And we're in a crucial moment of our development. We performed the tests in the lab, and now we are entering an extensive phase of product development. It's fueled by public findings. We are securing more than €800,000 with consortium with entities like Krakow University of Technology or Agroecoton. It's a 2 years project, and it's also an opportunity for the investment. And we believe it's actually a very compelling offer because it's not only innovative technology on a large market in a growing agritech industry, but also the public fundings provides a security and increased value at this seed stage. If you would be interested, please get in touch. And it all wouldn't be possible without the team behind it. In its center, Łukasz, our domain expert, not only owner of a plantation, but also academic teacher. He's combining a theoretical and practical knowledge in agriculture. We support him in skills in photochemistry, artificial intelligence, and business to together bring a change to the agriculture. We are Ripes Technologies, and we shape the future of sustainable precision agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you, Miron. Now it's exactly 5 minutes gone. So let's go to the questions. Which diseases, pests do you detect?
So we are not, because of the target market, the black currants, and we focus on insects that are mostly common on black currant plantations. So, for example, tests that we did were, I'm actually not sure about the names in English, but yeah, the insects that are mostly common on the black currant plantation. This is where our samples come from. The next phase would be to focus on the most common funguses that face the black currants. And the good thing is those diseases are shared across multiple types of crops. So we hope the technology will be transferable to different types of crops as well, with a slight change or additional research.
Is it based on photosynthesis efficiency or also other parameters?
So what we test, and I think the technical details will need to be provided by the actual university, but what we do is we trace, when we apply the specific spectrum of lights, the lamps, we detect where the peak of specific spectrum is happening when actually applied on an insect. So based on that, we can provide an input for the AI algorithm and detect not only the insect is on the plantation, but also which insect is it. Because what we also found out is that different insects react to the different spectrums of light.
When do you need investment? In 2024?
Actually, yes. So we want to secure the investment in the first quarter of 2023 because in Q2 we start the project if the grant is applied. So the moment to secure the funding is the first quarter of 2023, and then it will be used until the end of 2024, where we probably look for another round of funding if needed.
When do you expect to launch solution in the market?
So we expect, as the project is planned, to have first customers probably in a test market in 2024, and then after 2 years have a product which can be bought by owners of the plantation. So we would have a product on the market by 2025.
How about grapes?
Oh, I love this question because that's exactly what we hope for. Because biologically, they are the same types of crops, and that's our method for that's our way for scaling our solution. So the grapes, by adjusting our solution to the grapes, we hope to enter the European grapes market because of the fact that they are the same crop.
That was the last one. Thank you very much, Miron. I want to thank. Oh yes, there is another one. Yes, Miron. Please tell us how often farmers have to use your solution.
Yeah, that's actually a trick here is the owners already kind of because they are spraying in the season their crops around even every 2-3 days. We won't require them to do it more often, so they would kind of make the same amount of trips on the field as they do now, but the change will be that they will apply less pesticides while doing so, and I think that's makes our solution fits nice in how the farmers operate at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much, Miron. Once again, I want to thank everyone who tell us about these 10 startups. In my opinion, some of them will become a bigger companies. The future is yours. Now I want to Paweł to connect once again with us, and please some short summary of our meeting.
Yeah. This 2.5 hours has gone, at least for me, really quickly. I enjoyed the startups. I hope the audience, investors, clients, industry, researchers, you also enjoyed the solutions. And to quickly wrap up, we had a mix of precision farming on monitoring insects, apple, water, field solution, black currants. We had biostimulants and oxygen, power from corn, substitutes for antibiotics, and biochar. I really believe that with this solution, as Central and Eastern Europe, we can generate impact for the agriculture, and also viable businesses for the founders of startups that has been presented today. Of course, the founders, their pitch decks are available for any of the from the audience. Just let me know. I can connect you with the founders, unless you have done it during the pitches through the LinkedIn. But please remember that EIT Food is a spot that much makes investors, corporates, industry with startups, and we are really focused on doing it. So please stay tuned in the next year. And for now, I wish you a good weekend, and in almost more than 2 weeks, I wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. It was really nice to host all of you today in this online event.
Well, may I add just few words from
oh yes,
farmers' side in behalf of the farmers and us as AgroEcoton. I want to thanks one more time for you and EIT Food, and also of course for all startups. We are really happy that we are able to test all those ideas, and I believe that those ideas will come soon to real commercialization. It was mentioned many times in chat box today when your solution will be available to practice. For me, it's confirmation that these projects make sense. We talk about real innovations. It was confirmed many times today. And I wish to all startups that their solutions will be will come to practice very soon, and all those companies will grow, and we cross fingers for this success. In behalf of all farmers and all consumers who will eat this food finally. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you all. It was great to have you today.
Thank you very much.
See you.
Have a great
See you next
day.
year.